Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for How to Get Away with Murder, Season 5, Episode 5. Yes, again, back in my car, but by next week, should be doing this back, in my regular setup. But let's just jump into this. This episode was it was the worst day of my life. And that line had to do with, actually, that could apply to multiple people now that I really think about it. Bonnie, Nate's father, yeah. But let's start from, where do we want to start? It starts really somber. I thought Nate died. I was so confused when I was initially watching it. I thought Nate's father died. I thought that something happened with the case, and maybe I was like, no, he doesn't seem like the suicide type. So I was just confused I was like, wait, did he die? Because it was grayed out and everyone was sitting in class, and Elise came along and she just had that defeated look, like, and everyone was just looking at her like, so what are we going to do now? So apparently, and thankfully it wasn't what I thought. It was at that point, they were losing the case. They were getting their butts handed to them. So Annalise was asking the class, where did she go wrong? Why are they losing their case? And there are multiple reasons. Connor is still salty. Connor is still upset with her for removing his second chair status and also lying to him in the first place, even though I'm thinking, all of you are a bunch of liars. All of you are a bunch of liars. So I don't understand this entitlement. Anyway, so that's when we go back to Connor and Gabriel. They have this weird back and forth because Gabriel was made to be Annalise's number 2. And so Connor is over that, and Gabriel's just saying, look, stop bragging on her. And there were certain things we just couldn't foresee. So why couldn't we foresee them? We go to Nate. Actually, there was so much going on. So one of the things was that Nate's father wanted to go, and he wanted to go and represent himself, as in go on the stand, speak. But that's a little bit later on. Of course, they didn't feel like they needed to even get to that point. What they thought was, Nate, he could be a good character witness. That's what we think. Until we find out when Nate was 14, he wrote a letter to the judge when he heard that his father was up for parole. And his letter essentially said that, his father, because Nate's story on the stand was that he was never afraid of his father. His father worked hard. Okay, yeah, you're saying that he sold drugs, but he was a boxer, and then they fell in hard times, so he still had to support his family. And I'm thinking, okay, all this is cool. All this is fine. The problem is that letter that Nate wrote to the judge when he was 14 said that he felt safe knowing that his father was still in jail. Essentially, to that effect. So that disregards everything that Nate originally said. Now, part of the issue is, back at the class, it's like, well, why did that even happen? And the big obvious, Annalise is too close to the case. Laurel said Annalise is too close to the case. So instead of really picking Nate apart and making sure that there wasn't anything in the past that would go mess up the case, she just kind of went along to get along because of her relationship with him. And now let's talk about Nate Sr. He was pissed. I know I'm jumping and I'm cutting a lot of stuff out, but I'm going to get back to it a little bit later. Nate Sr. was super pissed. He's looking at his son like, yo, you went and did what? You're the reason that I actually went and had to stay in jail. You're the reason that me staying in jail caused me to go into the hole. Because that's what happened. After his parole was revoked, he went into a rage. Well, he started to have issues, went to the hole, developed mental, psychological issues, and ended it off by killing that guy. So he was pissed at Nate. He was like, all of this is your fault. I'm thinking, unfortunately, You didn't create a household that was conducive to your son having your back. Nate actually talks to Annalise and explains why he did that, because he acknowledges that he was lying on the stand for his father. That's how much he wants to go and help him now, because his father didn't create just a safe, happy household. But he understands who his father is now. And he's accepting him for who he is now. So that's why he's not holding him to his actions and how he was in the past. And I said, oh, this is just too much. This is just too much. Poor Bonnie. Bonnie and Nate have a conversation. Bonnie and Nate had a conversation. That conversation was essentially, hey, I did this because I thought it was helping you. I thought you knowing this information would be helpful and you can make a decision on what you wanted to do. Bonnie said her life was getting okay. She got over all of her stuff in her past, as in she moved on from it. She was just looking ahead. She was not looking back. I said, that's what you think, but that wasn't the full truth. You were working towards that, but you still had issues. Excuse me. And it was obvious. Like with Miller, you didn't feel like you deserved to be with someone like Miller because he was actually normal. That's part of the killing stuff. But the other part is because you feel like, I'm not even going to go into that. That's a little bit too much right now. But Bonnie, she's hurt because she just feels like you're someone that I actually trusted. And you went to Annalise. You didn't even come to me directly. He said Annalise is your friend of many years. I figured she would know how to handle, delivering the news to you versus someone like me that doesn't know your backstory. So Bonnie was pissed. Annalise was calling Bonnie to see where she was. She went to Bonnie's house. Frank was there, but Frank clearly wasn't paying attention because Bonnie went and left. And so then they're trying to figure out where she is. Bonnie came back and Bonnie looked so drained. I felt so bad for her. And Lisa's like, wait. Don't do anything stupid. Bonnie said, I'm not going to harm myself. I just want to go back to bed. Because Bonnie has the file next to her and it's just, oof. It's too much. It's too much for her. It is too much for her. And Elise had to tell Frank, look, I'm serious this time. Watch for her. And Frank said, fine. That is no problem. I will go make sure I remove all the blades, because you don't know. She looks suicidal. She does. And after hearing that news that the son that she gave birth to because she was raped, and she thought that the son died, but he was actually kidnapped and by a family. Oh, it's a mental cluster F. It's too much. Frank later on in the episode goes to her and tells her, hey, you have options. If you don't want to, we will not, and listen to me, we will not pursue anything with this kid. We will go and, we don't know his situation. You deserve happiness. You deserve to be able to just move on with your life. If anyone deserves it, you do. And she was crying because she doesn't know what she wants to do. It's still her son. It's still her child, no matter how he came into this world. And she hears everyone telling her, look, it's okay to forget him, but that's probably not what she really wants at all. Especially since she's working with people that can pretty much find anyone and do almost anything. Let's see. Laurel, I already talked about that. Asher, and this was weird. Asher and Michaela, I thought that they were sleeping together. But because they were hanging out and Michaela went to Asher's place, and I really thought that they were sleeping together. But she said, you know what? We're not talking about work. We're not going and doing that. We're just getting straight to business. So I thought she meant sexual business. But no. Apparently, their work, because this comes out towards the end, because Connor and Oliver were wondering, why are these two chummy? And they're doing a bachelor party for them. Neither of them want the bachelor party, but Oliver is at least semi-interested because Oliver, the whole time, remember, Oliver has mentioned about them getting married in a church. Connor was the one that shut it down. Now Oliver's mom is saying that, you know, this church is available. And it seems like this is going to be Oliver's wedding. He has the takeover spirit. And maybe he's trying to also appease his mom because now his mom's going to be coming to the bachelor shop, or at least coming over. And so is Connor's mom. And they don't really talk much about their parents. We know about Connor's dad being gay and being with someone else, but we don't know much about his mom. So that's going to be interesting. Connor seemed over it, completely over it, partially because he didn't have a say-so. And the other thing was, he probably really didn't want to deal with these other people. He probably just wanted to elope at this point. Let's see. Miller and Frank. Miller goes and checks up on Bonnie, and Frank stops him. Frank said, she's sick. She's not feeling well. I'll give her the food. I was like, yeah, but just tell her, you know, I'm thinking about her. If this is because I was trying to go and have her sign some documentation to have a relationship start, just tell her I'm sorry and that she doesn't need to sign anything. I just thought I was doing the right thing, but maybe I wasn't. And Frank said, look, Bonnie can't come to the door right now. You can't come in because she's a mess. I'll figure it out. And I'm thinking, so Miller, you're not even wondering why is this grown dude shacking up with Bonnie? I don't know how Bonnie explained that, if she ever explained that. I understand Miller knows that they all were together, so I guess that's why he didn't think too much of it. But we're still watching Miller. And Frank even, you know, acknowledged to Bonnie that, hey, isn't it good that you have someone who just cares about you that much? Move on. Just move on. But like I said, it's Bonnie's choice if she wants to do that. Let's see. Oh, it was also weird when Michaela was talking to Asher about Bonnie, because Asher wanted to know what was going on with Bonnie. She hasn't been at work. What's up? And Michaela said, dude, you need to stop focusing on her. She's living her own life. This is kind of sad, actually. And we know that's Asher's life. It's a little sad. It's a little sad. Asher needs to get it together because it looks like he's not getting any better anytime soon. And then, wow, I got through a lot of this. Okay, now we get to the point where it gets closer to present day. Or it is present day. And Annalise has her class figuring out, all right, this is where all the areas that we've lost. What's one area that we did well in? And Michaela, of all people, said, actually, you did a great job with the psychologist. And apparently the psychologist works for, well, I'm jumping ahead. So the psychologist, he's going and he's essentially canceling out the information that Annalise gave to the jury initially, because this whole entire case, the first thing was, are we going to use a jury or are we going to use a judge? And so the jury, we know how easy it is to sway a jury. A judge, as long as he or she really is doing their job and isn't showing favoritism or isn't being bought, you can have a better chance. Especially, you know, with Annalise as your boss. But Annalise thought maybe the jury route could be the safest because she doesn't like taking the expected route. She likes doing the unexpected. The problem with that is now we have this psychologist who is saying that Annalise's people, yeah, they're cool, but it's all about what you look at and what you value most when you're looking at a patient's mental. Because this guy's trying to say that no, Nate Sr. isn't the man that he says that he is. Nate Sr. was very aware. Nate Sr. trying to talk about the psychological break. No, that can't be the case. And after some digging was done, which involved going to Asher to get this information, Asher then goes to Annalise because Asher, he what was it? Michaela was the one that reached out to Asher, asked him about getting some information to help out Nate. And as we know, Nate has always helped out this group in many ways. And Asher has grown close with Nate over the years. He works in the same office. It makes sense. It makes.
Remember to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe and come back.
A lot of sense why Asher would go and help, and Asher does. He gets the files that are needed on the psychologist to get some dirt on him to sway the jury and sway the judge. Now, the problem is that Asher wants something in return. Asher goes to Annalise. Annalise says, oh, that's the information. No. Wait, how'd you even find out? Well, you know, I'm smart. You ask the people down there and they know my new address. Yeah. That's not the point. The point is, where's Bonbon? Can't you just leave her alone? No, where is Bonbon? You know Bonnie's issues and what happened to her in the past, right? And so I don't know why that was so triggering for Asher. Asher understands, you know, the horrible things that happened to Bonnie. I'm just trying to figure out, Asher doesn't know that Bonnie's child may still be alive. So I just thought it was interesting that it automatically clicked that Asher went to the, oh, you know, her being raped and molested and all that stuff. Maybe in this mind it's just like, oh, she's just having a, you know, mental break because of that period. But anyway, he goes, gives Annalise the information, and the governor is paying for this psychologist. So Annalise goes in and is able to throw this out because she said, your boss is actually the person, the governor. So why would you be impartial? They were able to get him thrown out. So that was cool. After that, Laurel and, now this is weird. Laurel and Gabriel, and I say it like that because, yuck, nasty. I said, Gabriel, don't get caught up with this woman. She will kill you. Her loins are poisoned. They're poisoned. Just go with like one of the other girls in the class. Come on, man. But let's see. Laurel, she's slow, and this is another weird part. Laurel wants to go and help out Gabriel because she figures, hey, he's second chair right now. She expects herself to move up to second chair at some point. So she's trying to make good, get brownie points, but she also likes him. They're going to go and meet up at his place. And I'm thinking, this is just, so you're telling me you're having Wes's baby in his old apartment with his baby mama and this new guy that we can't even trust, which the new guy in the flip phone, and why is Annalise's name saved as her? When Annalise calls him, her name is saved as her. There's multiple women that this guy would definitely know. So it's just, it feels really like, is he a spy? Is he purposely trying to get close to Annalise because he was working for the governor's office? What if he's working for the governor's office? I don't know. That's too simple. That's way too simple. Let's see. So then we have, we'll just move forward. So then we have, while they're in Wes's place, we see that Laurel's trying to go and talk to her baby. Gabriel's looking at her like, why are you talking to the baby like that? She talks about how it's great for, you know, growth and stimulation of the mind for the child. I said, yes, talking to the child, yes. But who said to talk? You're teaching them how to not enunciate. We need to enunciate. Come on. But they bring up the fact that the father isn't in the picture. And again, Gabriel being nosy saying, but well, like, I wasn't sure if the father was just dipped or if something happened. Because he made mention about, well, you know, talking to your child like that, it's almost like you're trying to make them a murderer. So that clicks in Laurel like, what, who, what, where? But this guy was like, no, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant that, well, he didn't mean much of it, but I'm thinking Wes's death was pretty public. I'm trying to remember, did people not really know that Wes, I guess they didn't know. Yeah, I guess that was buried, even though for us it felt very public. Oh, so confusing, so confusing. But anywho, Laurel's just looking at him like, oh, okay. And they figure out that their job was to go and see if there was any court cases where a man who takes a stand, because Nate Sr., he wants to take the stand. At this point, he's like, screw Nate. I want to be empowered by, you know, to empower myself. And if I'm going to fail, because you guys, this isn't working, I'm not stupid. If this is going to fail, it's going to fail because of me. Because of me. I want to make a last-ditch effort. And Annalise convinces Nate. And Nate convinces Annalise to go and allow that to happen. So that's when Annalise wanted Gabriel to go and figure out, were there any cases within the last couple of decades where, you know, if the guy was put on stand, if it worked, if they won. They couldn't find much of anything. So that's when, now it's like, so what's the decision going to be? Are we going to get the case just thrown out to protect him? Or are we going to get the case, have it move forward? Now, that decision was spoken about by Gabriel after, and the whole class agreed that it should be thrown out, after Nate Sr. took the stand. So he talks about how his life was, and then, you know, going to jail, being in jail, and then being put in the hole, and how long he was actually in the hole for. And so when he got out, he was scared, he was nervous, he was anxious, he was upset. It was like sensory overload. And the guy who was grilling him, the other lawyer, was saying, so it actually sounds like you were aware and remember what happened versus what you were saying before. You were saying that, you know, you're doing this insanity case and this insanity plea, but it sounds like you were very aware of what was going on. He was like, look, I understand how I felt, but I was so out of it, I did not know what was going on around me. And he was doing a great job. People were crying. They felt bad because he talked about, like, do you understand what it feels like to be separated from everything? The only thing I had was a picture of my son, and then they took that picture away from me. So that was them taking my son away from me, and I'm just in this hole, and the lights are on all day, and no one talks to you, no one contacts you. All you have is yourself, your thoughts, and maybe the little noise that the lights make. And that's it, the white noise. That's what you have all day, every day, for months and months and months and years in his case. And I said, he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. He's keeping it together. You know, I think people are actually believing him. Let's see. Frank. What was Frank doing? Oh. Frank did something, but I guess I don't, maybe I talked about it before. Bonnie and Miller. So Bonnie meets up with Miller, and Bonnie, she decides to go and tell Miller the truth. She tells Miller that her and her sister, ages 5 and 6, ever since then, they were raped and molested by men who would pay their mother and father. And that continued on at least until age 15 for Bonnie. And she got pregnant, and then she gave birth, but then they said the baby didn't make it, and she was devastated, and she thought that the baby was dead, but now she finds out that the baby was kidnapped and may still be alive today, and she just doesn't know what to do. And Miller's there crying, And so then Bonnie's like, I know this is a lot, so I just wanted to let you know this is what's going on with me, and that's why this is that, and that's why that. And he goes, and he gives her a hug, and he's like, I'm so sorry. Obviously, I couldn't even imagine, but I want to be here to support you. I love you. She says, I love you too. I'm thinking, what type of... I'm so glad Bonnie has this man in her life right now, but I guess trials and tribulations will bring people closer together sooner than what we would think. But the I love you part, I love you. I love you. Okay. So then after that, we then have, okay. Oh, I love this part. Annalise decides she's not going to have the case thrown out because Gabriel was saying that Nate's father did not sell crack. He sold, I think, weed. So that's an error that could cause the case to be thrown out, but this is the lead case. So either way, it's important, their decision, and it has repercussions. Annalise decides, Gabriel, this is what we're going to do. They're in court. Gabriel created a box with tape while Annalise was painting the scene. 492,256 or something about that hours of him being in solitary confinement. Hours. Or no, was that hours or was that year? Either way. And she put herself in the box. She said, now think about this. He was there for all this time, and all he had was himself, his thoughts. The room was lit like this or even brighter, and just the white noise, the noise that comes out of the lights. And that was it. So how she did it was she had a moment of silence where she said, she requested a moment of silence. Imagine just for a minute, just for a solid minute, how you feel if you were confined to a space of your own, being put there for just a minute. And when they did that, it was an actual minute, and it cut to commercial. It was so powerful because we saw that everyone was looking around. They started to get antsy. And this is just from like 30 seconds. This isn't even a minute yet. And the jury had that look of, I can't even imagine. So I knew once Annalise did that I said, oh my gosh, we could actually win this. We could actually win this. They won it. I was so happy. They won it. Nate Jr. will be released to, a psychiatric ward, and Nate Sr. would be released. And he said, you know what, son? I understand, because Nate was saying how he became a police officer because he thought the police were good because they were taking away his father, who he thought was a bad guy, constantly going to jail, behavioral issues. So that's why he became a police officer. And that was also why his father was pissed at him. But his father said, I forgive you. I understand now. And I just want to move forward. And I was so happy for them. And then I was so happy for them. Gabriel and Laurel were listening as Annalise was dealing with the press. Laurel said, why don't you want to go there? And, you deserve this. Laurel said, and Gabriel said, no, I don't like the spotlight. I said, you don't like the spotlight because you can't be photographed? Is that why? So then Laurel sees Frank, and Laurel goes to Frank and said, Frank, cut it. I know that Gabriel's the person that you're stalking, and you're stalking him. I don't know why, but you must be the person that also got him kicked out of his last place and told him about this new apartment. What's this apartment? Come on, I'm not that stupid. What is really going on? So I said, oh Lord, now Laurel's gonna know. We know once someone like Laurel finds out, that's when things really go left. Ugh. Connor and Asher, they have a great moment. I should talk about the press conference a little bit more. So Annalise went at the governor and said that she had to clean up the governor's mess. I guess the governor wouldn't be happy, or maybe she should be happy. The governor said, Call her in. Catch me outside. How about that? Call her in. Let's see if she has all that bark, in my face. I said, oops. Let's see. Let us see. Let us see. Annalise apologizes to Connor, which I said was very mature of her, but I was still over it because I'm looking at Annalise like, you apologized to Connor? To Connor? But I get it. Connor really was the person in Annalise's back supporting her when it came to the trial and all of that. So to take him off of that, I can see why she apologized to him for that. And she was like, and I understand you were the person that told Gabriel, weren't you, about that fine print that would cause the mistrial to happen. And it looks like Connor may be bumped up to number 2 again, but we'll see about that. I already told you what Asher and Michaela were planning. Miller and Bonnie. So now they're magically so close that Bonnie asked Miller to drive her over to Bonnie's sister's house, Julie, so that Bonnie can go and confront Julie. We don't see what Bonnie says to Julie, but Bonnie looks like she wants to kill her sister. I said, do it. Do it. Do it. She's trash. Do it. But she calls Annalise, and Annalise says, oh my God, I'll be right there. I'll call Frank. No. Miller's there. He'll support me. Ronald's there. I said, Ronald? What's a Ronald gonna do? And at the end of the episode, we're back in present day, and we see we see Connor. He's trying to find Oliver. At this point, he's outside, and we know that Oliver is probably alive. He's probably somewhere, hopefully not doing something stupid. But we see Connor. He sees his mom. I said, someone's doing his mom. Or someone's, eating out his mom. And it was Asher. It was Asher. Oh, I said, no. Oh, God, why did I have to see that? Okay, conspiracy time. Someone on social media, some people are saying, what if Connor and Bonnie are related or something weird like that? Like, what if they have the same mom? I'm thinking, what? That doesn't even make any sense. But whatever. So please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next.